the magic in me. Every time I touch that track, it turns into gold. Everybody knows I got the magic in me.
Hey guys, so it was suggested that I do some videos responding to some common and not so common questions about the craft, so this is my attempt to do that. So the first couple of questions I have to start off with are from Cyborg Slayer Nyla, and the first question is, what method of divination do you use? So I use runes, and the runes are a Nordic, Scandinavian, German, that kind of area of the world system of divination, but it's more than that. The runes were a system of writing, and they were also religious symbols. It was believed that every rune had their own unique power and resonance, and so you can think of the runes a little bit like Hebrew in that sense. Each letter had a numerical value and a name and a meaning associated with it. The runes in particular each have spirit powers associated to them also. And I prefer to use the runes because they may seem simple. There's only 24 in the Elder Futhark set that I use, but because of that they can really surprise people. Sometimes people can expect that a tarot reading would be really complicated and elaborate, but runes can be just as elaborate for a reading, if not more. And I really feel like they challenge the reader to tap into their intuition, their latent psychic ability a little more than tarot. That said, I do use tarot myself also. I actually usually prefer to read tarot for myself. I'm not quite sure why, but runes I read a lot for other people. I read runes professionally at our local Magickal store, and I think I'm the only one who does that in the region right now that I know of. There might be one other person. But anyways, they're really creative too. Just like tarot, there's different spreads that you can use, or toss sets. You draw them from a bag or what's called a lot box. You can have other folks pick them, or you can pick them yourself. You think of your question or meditate on the issue in general. And how I do it is I just take a big old handful and throw them out. I don't even count them out. And I feel like that really connects me to the way that those Nordic shaman people probably did it. We don't really know how they used the runes entirely, but to me that's how I feel that they're used. The other aspect is that my ancestry is very Nordic. If you can tell between the brown hair and blue eyes and light skin. But it's believed that people with Nordic ancestry have a far greater ability to access runic power and to understand those mysteries more. And it wasn't until I started using runes that I really connected with that part of my ancestry, and that ancestral connection is something that I use in all other areas of my practice too. So the next question is, what tool do I use the most, or tools? I would definitely have to say I use a cauldron the most. It didn't used to be the tool I used the most, but cauldron is definitely something that I do in my daily practice almost every single morning. Right now my daily practice consists of a period of meditation and reflection and daily devotional prayers and invocations, and while I'm doing that I'm usually burning incense or herbs in the cauldron as an offering. And I like to do that because giving offerings at the beginning of the day helps me feel grateful, and gratitude is a really great energy that I like to start on my day with. So I imagine the smoke as it's drifting up into the air as being a gift to the gods. And depending on what kind of aspect I want to invoke, that'll change what kind of herbs or things that I use that I'm burning. And it's a small cauldron. Usually I don't have one of those big giant ones. I don't really need one. You could just as easily use an incense burner for that. Other than that, I probably use, well, I don't know if you would consider herbs a tool or a substance. I guess it would be a substance. If you consider herbs a tool, I use those a lot in my practice. But otherwise, in terms of traditional tools, the other one I would use a lot would probably be my athame, or athame, however you want to say it. And I do that because I work a lot of ascension magic, and I do a lot of Ray invocation. If you're familiar with the work of Madame Blavatsky and the Theosophists of their time, I use the athame to draw in direct energies into me in the morning, and I use those energies to fuel the rest of my day. I also have a little flair of ceremonialism. Every few mornings or so, I like to do the LBRP, or the Lesser Banishing Ritual of the Pentagram. That's a really common ceremonial magician ritual, and it just cleanses the body and the space and helps you be free and clear for the day. And of course, you're usually supposed to use an athame for that. If anyone has any other questions relating to anything in the magical or the spiritual or religious at all, send them my way and I'll do my best to answer. And if I don't know the answer, I will help you find it.
I got the